Welcome to Besiege Bots, the real home of robotic combat in Besiege. In this episode, we find the final 4 members of our Superheavyweight bracket quarterfinals and say goodbye to another 4 teams. Our opening contest sees 2 former tournament champions facing off, with Team Locrian, the lightweight champions from 2019's Spring Bash Cup, taking on 2-time Heavyweight Havoc winners, the Institution of Insanity. Then later, in our main event, we have the reigning Super Heavyweight champions, the Diddlers, with their new bot Bottom Feeder 5, taking on Outcast Robotics, who scored a convincing win during the preliminary round and are coming off a top 8 finish at SBC 2020. Blink Engine was KO'd in its rumble, but managed to bounce back with a KO win over Black Hole in the redemption round. Team Locrian face a vastly different adversary in this fight, and after beating one of the slowest bots in the competition, they now have to prove their skills against the fastest and will look to get another KO win. Warp Drive was shockingly ooted in its rumble, but bounced back in a big way in the redemption round, slamming Cygnus hard enough to score a KO win. Warp Drive has shown that its raw speed is not just good for maneuverability and also makes it one of the most damaging bots in the competition. They'll be looking to score another KO win in this fight. We're on the way with the first fight of episode 11 now, as Warp Drive aggressive out of the gate, which we do expect from the Institution of Insanity. They finished in the top 16 at SBC with Hockey Puck of Death, but in fact both bots got eliminated from SBC by Morgan, interestingly. Both teams' bots, I should say. So, no Team Archaon in this tournament, so now they get to fight each other, and Warp Drive probably getting the better of these early exchanges. They brought that prong setup, which allows them to get in under the bars of horizontal spinners a little bit easier, as they get a good push there, but almost ooted themselves. Ooh, that was risky, but that is kind of how the Institution drives, as we saw in the Antweight tournament, where they pitted themselves with Pepper by just refusing to turn the weapon off and driving themselves into the pit. Good pushes here from Warp Drive, just bouncing Blink Engine high into the air. Ooh, that was a huge slam. Wow, they broke all the wheels. Except I think there's one cog left on the left side of Blink Engine. That was a devastating slam. And Blink Engine was already having trouble as they get deflected off the wall from that shove from Warp Drive. They were already having trouble keeping up with the mobility of Warp Drive, and that's really not going to help. Team Locrian in a lot of trouble here. Warp Drive really starting to take control of this fight. Got a KO over Cygnus. Ooh, and a big slam, and up and over. That's one of the cleanest ooters I think I've seen so far in the tournament. Warp Drive wins by ooter and moves on to the quarterfinals, while Blink Engine is eliminated from Summer Slammathon. Dysphagia rebounded from a poor showing in its rumble by KOing Steve in the redemption round. In this fight, the rickety androids will have to be more careful though, as they take on the bigger vertical spinner, and they'll need to use their maneuverability to get around behind their opponent and look for a KO in this one. Sickle mode scored the fastest win in Besiege Bots tournament history so far, with an insane 7-second Uda KO against UFA 9000. In this fight, I'm sure Team Wasted Potential would love to do the same, but will probably look to score a slower, more methodical win by keeping their weapon pointed at their opponent to get a KO or Uda win. We kick things off in fight number 2 of the tall vert, small vert matchup, as Dysphagia loses one of its wheels early, but it hits Sickle mode and takes a tread off. That was pretty good from Dysphagia. Losing the wheel's not good because it lost their mobility advantage, and their weapon gets destroyed because they got overconfident and they took a weapon-to-weapon collision. That is very poor driving from Team Rickety Androids, unfortunately. Sickle mode lost one of its flying blocks, it looks like. Sickle mode kind of bumping around here. We'll see if Dysphagia can get a push. They've pushed that other tread out of the way. Sickle mode looking to turn to get a hit, and I think that other tread just came loose. Yeah, their other tread just fell off. Dysphagia didn't even touch it. It just fell off the bot. And I think with only one flying block, I'm not sure if they can even propel themselves fast enough. Yeah, they can't. This is not considered legal movement. They're just trying to flop around with the weapon. Well, that was a poor ending to what could have been an interesting fight. Dysphagia wins by KO. Sickle mode is eliminated because one of its treads just fell off. BallisticNG picked up a strong win in its rumble, KOing Sickle mode and winning the judgment against Anamoya. Mist Inc. will be looking to further their quest for a championship crown in this match with a KO or UDA, but they have a tough fight ahead of them against SBC 2020 lightweight champions, the United Lunch Alliance. After winning the crown in SBC 2020, the United Lunch Alliance followed it up by taking a close decision against Foxglove in the prelims. In this fight, they will look to get past Mist Inc.'s Wedge Vert and use their extra range and durability, giving them the upper hand to score a KO or UDA win in this fight. Now we get started with fight number 3, as we see another tall vert, small vert matchup with BallisticNG vs Scirocco. Similar to the last fight, you would expect Scirocco to have the advantage on weapon-to-weapon collisions, but BallisticNG has that wedge, so they might be able to get under Scirocco, and then if they turn, they could potentially hit the sides and flip it over and then get a good hit. I think BallisticNG's weapon may have been damaged. It doesn't seem to be spinning currently. Ooh, as they take a hit from Scirocco. It looks like it's spinning, but that's just because Scirocco was hitting the bar. I think BallisticNG's stuck, but maybe the United Lunch Alliance didn't notice, so they just wanted to go for the UDA, but they don't get the UDA. Yeah, BallisticNG's stuck. I think the weapon's broken. They must have got their murder sniped during one of those jousts with Scirocco. But I can't see. Oh, I think it's one of the murders on the left side has been broken off. Yeah. It's the motor on the left side that got damaged. I can't see where the wheel actually is. It must have got flung out of the arena so fast I didn't see it. Or it's on the ground there, I don't know. BallisticNG, capable of driving, but they took some bad engagements. They got a wheel peeled off. Now they're going to have to be crab walking, and this is a really bad spot for Mist Inc. The United Lunch Alliance looking good. They didn't enter Antweight Armageddon, but they did win SBC, and Scirocco is looking strong through the competition thus far. They did win their Rumble, and now they're looking like they're going to win this one. I think they peeled that other wheel off. Yeah, BallisticNG can't move. Oh, but Scirocco almost pulls a checker and throws itself out of the arena, but it didn't quite go all the way out, so Scirocco does end up winning by KO. You gotta not do that, because if they'd thrown themselves all the way up onto the ramp, it would have been an UDA KO win for BallisticNG. But BallisticNG is eliminated, Scirocco moves on to the quarterfinals. Bottom feeder 5 scored a one-sided decision in its rumble, beating out Dysphagia and Unstable Isotope. The Diddlers will be looking to move on here and continue trying to defend their crown by KOing their opponent with the most deadly melty brain Besiege bots has ever seen. Our final bot for this episode is Larkspur, which managed to win its rumble in lopsided fashion, quickly KOing Ufa and winning the decision against Requiem. In this fight, Outcast Robotics will need to attack the leading edge of bottom feeder's spinner to slow it down and look to destroy the wheels to get a KO win. Now we're underway in the main event of episode 11, as bottom feeder gets spun up nice and early. Ooh, Larkspur with a nice uppercut onto that tail. Bottom feeder gets slowed down by being pinned into the corner here. This could be good for Larkspur if they can keep up the aggression. You see they brought the big front wedge setup this time to take on a horizontal spinner. Smart from them to bring multiple setups to take on horizontals. Ooh, but bottom feed is reaching around behind that big wedge. They're not quite angling some of these charges right. It can be hard to see where the wedge is on some of these hits though. Larkspur's lost a few pieces here and there, but not too much damage just yet. Few steering hinges. Larkspur looked really good in its rumble, got a pretty dominant win. So did bottom feeder, to be fair. And the Diddlers are the reigning champions. Ooh, Larkspur's weapon might be compromised. I'm not too sure. I think it is a direct drive weapon, so sometimes they just don't like being upside down because the torque acts differently because the bot isn't stable while upside down. Ooh, as they get their wheels sniped off on the right side there, and I think the right side wedge is damaged as well. I think one of the spin blocks has been broken loose, which is causing the wedge to fold in awkward ways. Yeah, you can see the whole chassis kind of folded up in a weird way. Ooh, and that was a big hit, ripped a whole chunk out of that left side. Yeah, the left back side. Wow, Larkspur is being smashed around the arena right now. I'm not entirely sure if they can... Yeah, they seem to be able to drive. Not very well, but they've turned the weapon off and they're not driving. Okay, it seems Larkspur's driver, Outcast Robotics, have decided to give up. And bottom feeder 5 wins by KO and advances to the quarterfinals. Larkspur is eliminated. That's it for this episode. Our 4 bots heading into the quarterfinals are Warp Drive, Dysphagia, Scirocco, and bottom feeder 5. Unfortunately, we also have to say goodbye to Blink Engine, Sickle Mode, BallisticNG, and Larkspur. In the next episode, we will complete the Beaterweight Bracket Round of 16. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing. If you're interested in joining our community, follow the Discord link in the description. And from everyone in the Besiege Bots Discord, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon.